ready to sew our sample seam. So the first thing we're going to do in our sample seam is our seam finish. So we're going to make sure our machine is set for a zigzag, A3, 3. We're going to cover up 3 of our 4 feed dogs, and we're going to place the needle down, and then we're going to place the pressure foot down. Sometimes we need to hang on to these back threads here just in case we don't have enough fabric under the pressure foot to advance it. So just not pulling, but just holding. This hand only needs to guide, and I should just be looking here so that I can see that 1 feed dog. There's no reverse on a zigzag. This allows my zigzag to be close to the raw edge, but not too close. We want to use this zigzag to finish the seam, to prevent the seam from fraying. I like to go right on to the next piece of fabric when I'm working. When you get to the end, make sure that you take your hand wheel and turn towards you, and your take-up lever comes to the upright position. Trim your threads close so that you have no hairy garments. Our zigzag is nice and close to the edge here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the fashion fabric together. Most often, we sew our seams on the inside of the garment. Sometimes we choose to put our seams on the outside of the garment, but that decision is made before we begin construction. This is a napped fabric, so the fabric stays together easily. Flannel has a nap to it and won't necessarily need to be pinned for a straight seam like this. In order to sew the seam straight, I need to change my pattern zigzag dial to 0. Make sure your take-up lever is in the upright position first, because it could break the needle if it was already down. Now we're going to sew a straight stitch, A03. I want to line this up with the 5/8 line on the throat plate of the sewing machine. So take the raw edge of your fabric and line it up on the 5/8 line. Hand wheel and place the needle down. Place your pressure foot down. Now press your reverse button and back your stitches up to the edge. Now go forward. I'm not looking at the needle. I'm looking at the edge of the fabric here to make sure my seam width stays even all the way down this length of fabric. Gently guide your fabric and go slow. Sometimes when you're sewing, it's important to stop, hand wheel so the needle is down when you stop. Take a check. It looks like it's doing well here, both on the top side and the underside here. Place your pressure foot down before you begin. A little reverse and forward. Hand wheel so the take-up lever is in the upright position. Trim your threads so they're close. Turn your machine off when you stand up to go to the iron to press it. Chair is pushed in. At the iron, you want to press your seam flat first to relax the stitches. Then press your seam open. Press it first with just your fingers before you start. Bring your iron. I'm just hovering over here as I'm bringing it forward, and when I get to the end, I'm going to place it down and just press. pressing is an up and down motion. When you check the fashion side, make sure it's nice and smooth here. There shouldn't be any lip. Nice and flat on this side. That's your sample seam.